Welcome to Twitch chat etiquette. Because I realized and I've noticed, even though I've been gone for a while, that some people lack the knowledge. They don't know that there is etiquette in Twitch chat, and that's okay because I feel like, you know, sometimes you genuinely just don't know better. That's all right. Okay, so before I go get into the nitty gritty, you know, there will always be exceptions. Always keep these rules in mind that I'm about to tell you, but when in doubt, always ask the streamer or a mod. I don't think anybody will get mad at you for asking unless it's like really obvious. You know, if we're gonna be like, can I be racist in your stream? The answer is probably going to be no. But I don't know, maybe there is somebody that allows that. They're probably gonna get banned, but you know. Okay, so I made an ND scale that I'm blocking, sorry. I made an ND scale. In every slide, you will see an ND that shows how I feel about that thing. This is personal. This shows how I feel about it. And how I think, like emphasis on think, how I think most streamers feel when that certain thing happens, right? And it goes from like, not that bad, you know, kind of weird, but to like, really bad. See that? You don't want that. That's bad. Rule 1, read the rules. Holy shit, who would have thought that you have to read the rules? I know that the rules are kind of looked at as like, you know, the terms of service, you know, when you start a new game, you're like, and it's like, oh, you need to read the terms of service, or like, I don't know, when you're like on a website or something, like cookies, and then you're like, yeah, whatever, I'm just gonna click accept. I know the rules for streams are like that, but you should really read them, because they, like, especially if you're new in a person's stream, because you can usually kind of tell what kind of vibes that person has based on their rules. Because like, for example, me and Mila's rules are very similar. We just have like, but like, even though they're similar, we still have like different rules. So it's important to read those, because like most people just assume that it's like, oh yeah, it's just like, it's the same thing as always, like Twitch TOS, don't be racist, don't be hateful, don't be like, be respectful and stuff like that. But some people have an extra set of rules in there. Like some people, like some people are okay with, like, for example, me, I don't mind, I don't mind talking about sensitive topics sometimes, preferably not politics, right? But, oh, I'm like freezing, okay. Like, I don't really mind talking about certain sensitive stuff, but for example, Mila would rather not have that, right? So that's why you need to read the rules. So, okay, right, so do not bring up other streamers, because stream platforms, or like each streamer's like channel is like a stage, okay? You need to see it as a stage, and the streamer is the performer that's on stage. Like, that is their stage, okay? It's weird if somebody from the audience like suddenly steps up and is like, hey guys, do you guys know that, I don't know, fucking Shroud is streaming right now? It's kind of disrespectful, because that is that streamer's stage. It's that streamer's platform. You don't just talk about somebody else while somebody else is like performing. And like something that I see quite often that I don't think people realize, but it might, like, things that might seem fine but aren't. For example, saying that you're leaving to watch another streamer. I know that sometimes people just don't know better. Sometimes they're just like, okay, well, you know, I'm gonna watch this other streamer. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. You're totally allowed to leave and go watch another streamer. But you don't have to mention that, because it's kind of shitty. It's kind of shitty when you're streaming, right? And then somebody from the chat is just like, okay, well, I'm gonna go watch this other person instead of you. It kind of hurts a little bit. It's a little bit of like, it feels like a jab, even if it's not intended to be that way. It kind of feels like it's a jab, you know? Kind of feels like you're saying, okay, well, I'm leaving you because this other person is live that I like a lot more than you, that is better than you. It's just in general, you don't compare people to each other, because nobody, you know, it's cheesy, but nobody is the same, right? And it's the same with streamers. Even if it's like a compliment or something positive, don't. Because it feels like you're shitting on the other streamer instead. It's just something, it's just not nice to do. Talking about events that happened in someone else's stream. Somebody actually did this, like, it was quite a long time ago, but they were like venting about how they got banned in some other stream. Like, they just came into my stream and they were just like, oh my god, you're not gonna believe what happened. I just tried to help this streamer with lore and they banned me. And it's like, okay. What do you want me to do about that? It's kind of like, we don't really care. Well, I mean, we don't really care about what happened in another streamer's stream, especially if it's something bad that you did. The last bullet point is saying that you're streaming soon or any sort of subtle self-promo. You're not smooth. Okay, so let me tell you something, all right? If you're a streamer yourself, right? And you think, oh my god, I've got this absolute slick way to self-promote myself without making it look like I'm self-promoting. You are lying to yourself and you know it. There is no smooth way of self-promoting. We can all see it and you all look very fucking desperate, okay? Don't do that. Like, there's some people that think they're like slick, being like, okay, hey, I gotta go because I'm streaming now. Okay. Rule 3 is pretty simple. Just don't complain about ads, okay? Just don't do that. Okay, rule 4. Why are you ignoring me? Or like any other message about me not reading your message in the chat. Or like the streamer not reading your message in the chat. Because we can't read or reply to everything. I know I'm blocking the screen. Especially when we're literally streaming a game. You know, obviously like big streamers obviously can't read everything because their chat is zooming, right? But the smaller streamers, we do our best to read everything, and we already feel bad if we miss out on one thing. And we really do try, but sometimes we do read everything, but we just don't reply to everything. Like actually, before I started streaming, I didn't know that I was supposed to read the message I was replying to out loud, right? Because if I just started replying to you guys' messages right now, because I'm reading them, right? But I'm just not replying to them. You can't hear me read them. And if I just start replying to them, it's gonna be weird because you don't know who I'm talking to. So, some streamers might like still be learning that. They don't know that they're supposed to read the message first. Or they genuinely they're just busy. They're playing a game. They gotta focus on other things. Or like me, they get sidetracked and they like ranting about stuff. And then they don't keep up with the chat. Rule 5. Don't ask to play with a streamer. Okay, this happens, like usually when I'm playing like Valorant, sometimes Overwatch. But you have to realize that, you know, we're streamers, right? We're literally streaming. We are responsible for what we show on like live on stream. And that means, and you know, trolls exist. Trolls exist. We literally don't know you. There's a big risk of us like anytime any streamer is doing like a viewer event, there's a big risk of a viewer being a troll and like, you know, showing something on stream or saying something on stream that can get the streamer banned. So usually, to be safe, most streamers will say no. There will obviously be exceptions because there are times where streamers do like viewer games, and then, you know, you can join. Next rule, don't bring up view count. Like, view count does matter, especially to most streamers, it does matter. And it's just kind of iffy if you bring up how many viewers there currently are. Because I hide it for a reason. I hide it because I know what my average is. So when I see what the current one is and it's above average, I'm gonna get really nervous. And if it's below average, I'm gonna get really like insecure and discouraged. Like being like, oh my god, why is it so low compared to what it normally is, right? Okay, rule 7, don't ask trendy, intrusive questions. This one was a little bit weird, but like, especially for VTubers, some people like to assume that all of us are role-playing, or that sometimes there's like a TikTok trend going on where you just ask a bunch of random, really intrusive questions. Don't do that, because we're people. I am a real person, even though, I may not look very 3D, but I can assure you I am a real person. And I do not like the intrusive questions. I don't think anybody does. Okay, next. Bringing up drama or beef. Okay, I'm blocking the image, but it says, oh my god, get over yourself. Okay? I don't care who you are. If you are an adult, you should know that you handle any sorts of beef or drama. You handle this in private. You handle things like this in private. You don't bring it up in a public setting because, wanting an audience is just, no. That's just attention seeking. Stop it. Mature adults settle things in private. It's literally nobody else's business. Okay, rule 9. Don't trauma dump or ruin the vibes. Back in the day, I used to have so many fucking people like coming in my stream and then just randomly trauma dumping. I think like a few months back as well, I'm pretty sure there was somebody that just like dropped the whole suicide like bomb in my chat, and it was like, okay, whoa. So let me be honest, okay? Streamers are not your friends or your therapists, okay? Even though we might like seem like a very nice person, like very understanding and very we might be your source of happiness, but that does not mean you get to vent towards us, because we're people too. And usually, just with like problems and negativity in general, or like just trauma and like other bad stuff and sensitive stuff, you share that kind of stuff with your friends, not with streamers, because streamers are not your friends. I'm sorry. Streamers are not your friends. Because, you know, even though I talk to you guys, right? Friends have a mutual bond connection. You guys know a lot about me, but I know very little about like some of you individually. Some of you I know like more than others, right? But yeah, we do not, most of us do not have the connection of being friends. And you know, you need to accept that. You need to accept that. And yeah, streams are meant for entertainment, for fun, good vibes, and potentially a distraction from anything hard you might be going through. And it's not a place for you to complain or vent, because everybody here is just trying to have a good time. Look, I made a meme. As you can see, it says, please seek professional help, okay? Every time I see somebody come into my stream and they drop a suicide bomb on me, or a depression bomb, or like a trauma bomb or something, this is what happens in my head. Definitely seek out a professional or journal, because don't get me wrong, because I'm doing therapy, right? But I fucking hated it. What helps a lot is journaling, actually. You're just writing down your feelings and what happened and your frustrations on in a journal, and then do not read them back, because then you will cringe, okay? Because because I read down, whenever I'm angry or upset, or like having like a I don't know, a tantrum, I write down in my journal, and then I read it back the next day, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so fucking cringe. Why was I upset about this, right? But it saves you a lot of like, I don't know, I guess it raises your self-awareness of certain things as well. Okay, this is the last one. I'll talk a bit more about parasocialism, because I forgot to make a slide for that. But rule 10, don't backseat. For those that don't know what backseating is, it's like where you're nitpicking or telling someone how to play a game. It happens a lot in games like, what's it called? Like Valorant. It happens a lot in competitive games like League, Valorant, even Genshin sometimes. Not that often though, but I think everybody knows that backseating is not nice. Even if you think you're being helpful, it's not. Just whenever you're, like, it's a huge issue in Valorant as well. But if somebody's playing a game, let them play it the way they want to, especially if it's a streamer. Tell the streamer the solution or what to do when they're stuck. Because, see, the thing is, ask first, okay? Because sometimes the streamer does need help. But usually, I know it's frustrating. I know, especially if it's a game that you play a lot yourself, or if it's a game that you're good at. I know it can be frustrating to see someone do things wrong or not get the answer right, even if it might seem simple. But please, the streamer, there's either two things. The streamer A genuinely doesn't know, but they want to do it themselves. So please don't tell them the solution or try to belittle their actions by like being like, you need to do this and this and this. Especially if it's the first time for that like streamer playing that game, okay? Don't make them feel bad by just, and like don't spoil the fun by telling them what the solution is unless they ask. And like either the streamer doesn't know how it works or the streamer is like trying to, you know, is playing a little bit dumb for the content, you know? But yeah, just in general, when you think you want to help and give like a hint or a solution, always ask first. Always be like, hey, do you want a hint or do you need help? And then after they say yes, you can tell them what to do. Usually any sorts of like unasked for hints is kind of spoiling already. Don't do that. Nobody likes being spoiled for things. Don't do that. Even if you're hinting at stuff, you're not like 90% of the time when you think you're being subtle, you are not being subtle. It's the same with like the self-promo thing. You think you're being subtle, but you're really not. It's the same here. You think you're being subtle at like spoiling something or like hinting at an ending. You're not being subtle. It's the same in real life as well. When you think you're being subtle, you're really not being subtle. This is so fucking annoying. I'm so sorry. The coaching is so annoying. Like there's people, I think it's only happened like once, maybe twice. While I was playing Valorant and one time I was playing League. Don't coach streamers because you're a high rank in the game they're playing. And I say quote unquote coach because sometimes there's people that like what's it called? They're like, oh, I don't know, I'm like fucking Grandmaster in League and this streamer is gold. Do you want me to coach you? No, I don't fucking want you to coach me. Nobody, because like you might think you're being slick, being like, oh my god, I used to be Grandmaster, I can help you. No, you're not being slick. I can tell that you just want to show off in front of an audience. That is my audience, by the way. And if I wanted to be coached, I'd make a coaching stream, okay? Like, I don't think, like, don't ever go into a stream and like they're playing a high rank game and just be like, oh, you're supposed to do this, or I can help you get better at this and stuff. Like, I get that you're trying to help, but please don't do that. It's kind of rude. It's kind of rude and it kind of seems like you're like gloating, like seeming like really cocky and overconfident. It's just not nice. Okay, the last slide is non-existent, as you can see. But I wanted to talk about parasocialism a little bit. I already talked about this like a lot in my VTuber guide like ages ago. But I also talked about it a little bit during like the whole venting thing. But like, please remember that we as streamers, we're entertainers, we're not friends, okay? Even though, you know, I do have like a special place for you guys in my heart, right? We don't know each other, and please don't like pretend to know the streamer either. And I don't think we've ever had this issue too much in my community. I won't lie, I don't think I've said it too often, but I have had people sometimes being a little bit too friendly in my DMs sometimes. But it's never been too bad. And I hope it stays that way. But yeah, please don't like assume that you're friends with this streamer just because you're a regular. Because like, even though you might be a regular, even though you come to all of my streams, that does not mean that we're friends. Even though I laugh at your jokes and we have conversations, that does not mean that I am your friend. Okay? And that goes for every single streamer. For me, like also for me, for example, I am very aware of like the whole female streamer thing, and where, especially for VTubers, people might develop a crush on people, right? Or on streamers, or sometimes they get through the day pretending or imagining that you are their partner or something. Because honestly, I did that too. I did that for a long time with VTubers as well. It's definitely not my proudest moment, but I also like, it helped me get through the day to watch a certain VTuber and then imagine that we were like partners, like in my daydreams. But I never said like a single thing in their chat. I I never sent a single message in their chat. But you know, stuff like that, you know, I personally think it's fine. And I know that a lot of people, I know that a lot of like normies, I know that a lot of normies are gonna find that really weird. They're gonna be like, oh my god, that is so fucking weird. But I'm like, you know what? If that's what helps you get through the day, if that's what helps you get up in the morning, if that's what motivates you to do good today, then that's fucking good. That's amazing. I love that for you. And if I can somehow be that person for you, I am honored. Just don't start thinking that it's real. Just remember that there's a boundary, and that's your imagination. That is you copying, doing copium. As long as you're aware of that, I say that is completely fine. But yeah, thank you guys for being here today. I really appreciate it.